Today on Cooking with Riz, we're going to make pasta with peas. This was a favorite of my mother's and she would make it for us all the time. It's simple and quick and delicious. Start with about a half bag of frozen peas. This is a 16-ounce bag, so we're probably going to use about 8 ounces of peas. One pound of a thin spaghetti. We're going to go ahead and probably use half this package. Good olive oil. We usually get our olive oil at the Taste of Olive here in the Tasteful Olive here in Kansas City. So you want to use a good olive oil. We're only going to use about 1 clove of garlic, and then we're going to use 2 scallions or green onions. And so I'm going to chop these up and so they're really fine. We'll use the green and the white parts in this delicious pasta that you can make in literally 10 minutes. And don't forget the most important ingredients: salt, pepper, and grated Parmesan cheese. So I've got my pot of water boiling. As soon as it boils, I'm going to add some salt, and then we're going to add the pasta to the water. Heat up the olive oil and the garlic and the green onion, and then I'm going to thaw the peas in the microwave. I'm going to put them in a little bowl with water, thaw them for 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'm going to drain the peas and put them in the saucepan with the olive oil, garlic, and onion. We're going to place the frozen peas in a small bowl with about a cup to a cup and a half of water, and then we're going to microwave this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now my microwave is smaller than the normal microwave, so if you have a big microwave, you might only need to microwave it for about 1.5 minutes. Remember, when you're slicing up your garlic, you want to cut that little culo off the garlic. That's the very tough part of the garlic, and you really don't want to eat that. My mom always soaked the onion, the green onion, in water after it was chopped, just to make sure that if there was any sand or dirt in the actual onion, it would get rinsed away. So we're going to do that while the water's boiling. Okay, my water's come to a hard boil. I'm going to add salt, a couple tablespoons of salt, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in the pasta. This pasta that I have cooks for about 7 minutes. The instructions say 7 to 9 minutes, so I'll probably cook it for 6 or 7. So now I'm just going to give my pasta a good stir to make sure it doesn't stick together. You don't need anything more than boiling water and salt. Some people put olive oil in their water. All you're doing is wasting olive oil. That is not the way the Italians make pasta. Okay, I've got my olive oil heating. I'm going to go ahead and put my garlic in. I use 3 tablespoons of olive oil because you're going to want the olive oil to coat the pasta. You can use a little bit more if you want, but I think 3 tablespoons is the right amount. So we'll get the olive oil heated up. We'll get the garlic going, and then I'm going to drain the onions and the peas and then throw those in. We're getting a nice little sizzle on the garlic, and so we don't want the garlic to burn. We just want the essence of the garlic. So I'll throw in the peas. Again, this is about 8 ounces of peas. You can hear them kind of crackle. We're going to heat the peas, and then I'm going to rinse my onions and throw the onions in. So this is just 2 green onions. I find that the grandchildren really love the pasta with peas. So sometimes I won't put the onion in because they don't like the onion. But because I'm making this for lunch today, we're going to go ahead and use the onion. Then I'm going to go ahead and put salt and pepper on the vegetable mixture, and then we'll start adding the pasta. The timer just went off on the pasta. My mother used to break her pasta, and that was just because she didn't have a lot of pots and pans. So don't feel bad if you have to break the pasta to make it fit in the pan of water. I did not have to break the pasta today because I'm using a 4-quart sauce pot, and I'm using about 3 quarts of water to a half package of pasta. You want to go ahead also and use some of the pasta water because that helps keep the pasta nice and moist. And I almost forgot the most important ingredient, Parmesan cheese. So we usually buy a small block of Parmesan cheese at the grocery store, and then we grate it ourselves. It's the freshest way, and it gives us the best flavor. All right, we're going to turn off the heat. We're going to go ahead and serve some of this pasta. Do a little fancy curl here. And then I'll get a spoon and grab some peas. This dish is really great, as I mentioned, for a family or for if you have small kids. When the peas cool a little bit, the kids love to pick that up and eat them with their fingers if you have a toddler or a little one. I think peas are a favorite. So let's go ahead, sprinkle a little cheese. Dinner's ready.